is rolling now. That's
Sounds
good.
nice. It's nice to have that rolling.
Give me a level there, Lindsay Coulter.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Perfect. That's me right
Sounds
there.
nice.
A bit loud. There we go.
No, you sounded great.
And that's rolling. Cheers, bud. It's been a while.
Cheers. Taylor Jackson
Taylor
Media
Jackson
Inc.
Media Inc. If you're listening to the podcast, you should hop on over to the YouTube channel in the description below and watch us drink coffee and answer your questions on Shoot the Shot
I have
podcast.
a panda mug that says Kathy on it.
I have a mug that says Taylor Jackson Media on it from probably 2015, 16 when he incorporated, whatever that was.
18, 17. Who really knows?
Who can
Who really knows anymore?
Look, we took a week off.
Oh,
We were
did we
busy
ever?
bees, okay?
What happened in that week, Tim?
I mean, a
Tell
lot of
us
things
more.
happened. We went to Italy for a couple days. We attended Way Up North. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
I proposed to Kelly, my long-term girlfriend. We got married.
Come back. Come back to that.
Okay. Yeah, with the help of Lindsay and her sister. And her
Not
mom.
my sister.
Not your sister, not your mom, but Kelly's sister and her mom was able to pick out a ring, get permission, and then ask her to marry me. So
Permission. That's good that you got permission.
permission. Not that it needs to be, but
You're an old school
felt
kind
nice.
of guy.
I think so.
Love the level of respect.
Yeah.
Let's paint a picture for the people.
Okay.
So, we flew into Rome
Correct.
and
Delayed a bit. By
we were
about
delayed a bit, but listen to this.
6 hours.
Listen to this.
I want to hear it.
We were blessed by the airline gods.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
Surely doesn't. I flew with
Yes.
Tim and Kelly.
Correct.
Taylor was flying one day later because he was supposed to have a wedding. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. The three of us are flying alone. We all put in for upgrades to get upgraded to business class with Air Canada.
Because that's what you do.
And we thought there is a very slim chance that nor all of us are going to get this upgrade.
Yeah.
It's a 9.5-hour flight to Italy now. I'm
have
not
a bit
really
of
sure how that happened.
No, you have a bit of status. I have less status than you, and Kelly has almost no status. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if anyone gets in, it's Lindsay, and then we'll just be chilling with 3 seats.
So when you get checked in,
Yeah.
they show you the list. They're like, okay, here's the list. And it's like everybody's last name. So I start looking around being like, who's D Hunter? I want to know who D Hunter
looking
is.
for
And I'm going to
bags,
go
for
like,
little badges. Yeah.
I'm going to beat up D Hunter with the 100K. Because look at this hair, you guys.
Your hair looks
Honestly,
great.
it's just like, I feel like every day.
Comment
my hair
below if you
gets
like Lindsay's hair. I think it looks fantastic.
these roots.
Both
So-
of these roots.
Our flight gets delayed.
Yes.
Multiple hours.
Well,
We're already like warming up in the lounge,
Mm-hmm.
expecting to be flying out soon. And we were
Yes.
just going to go and have a little nap on the plane. Instead, we get at the same time, all of us, our phones go, your flight's been canceled. Really going to throw off our plan to go to Rome and eat cacio e pepe and for Tim to propose if the flight gets canceled,
No kidding.
So Tim and I scoot our little butts up to the check-in desk.
In
We
the
meet
lounge.
a lovely woman who likes to surf in Hawaii. I wish Karen or Carol.
I think it was Carol.
No, it was Karen actually,
was
because I
Karen.
remember being like, sorry about your name. Anyways, Karen was an angel.
She was a delight.
She got us on the next flight that they had just created that
Yeah.
was going to be leaving within a couple of hours. And she was like, and the good news is the business class section on this flight
Like
is
dubs.
twice the
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
And when a flight gets canceled, all the people that had upgrades, they don't realize that they actually have to put in for an upgrade again.
Because that flight is no bueno.
No longer
a thing.
exists.
So all those people who put it initially are like, they don't know that they're not in.
So all three of us got the business class upgrade, which by the way, just to explain to you how much of a lottery win that was, our flights were like $1,000, maybe a little bit more than that. If I had wanted to pay to buy that business class seat, it was $7,800. So we just got
A wicked deal.
$24,000 in flights.
That was great. And then having the ability to sleep on
Game
a flight,
changer.
fully, laying down, really just helped us, set us up for the next day to experience Rome to the fullest because we're only
Yeah,
there
we
for one day.
explored.
We did.
We did
saw
it
the
up for
sights.
one day.
Yeah, we saw everything Rome had to offer.
I kept on pointing things out to Kelly because Kelly had never been to Rome. And like, I've been to Rome, but I've never done like a tour, so I don't understand what I'm looking at. So we're literally walking around and I'm like, oh, Kelly, that's a thing people like to look
People
at.
love looking at this thing.
People love to look at this thing. We're like at the Colosseum and I'm like, listen, I don't know anything about this place, but
old.
People do like to look at it. It's actually 72 AD. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. Taylor comes and meets up within Rome.
Yep.
We go to Florence, day one in Florence.
Can we talk about the stairs first?
Please, by all means.
Good grief. We got an Airbnb right downtown Rome. Steps from the Colosseum. 5th floor. Penthouse of this beautiful building. Probably made in 81 AD, whenever that was.
Yeah, if the Colosseum was 72, this building was 81.
91 steps from the door to the rooftop where we were sleeping.
Where we were.
91.
And I will say, I did not pack light,
No.
nor did Kelly. Kelly
No.
and I both had planned our outfits to the nines. We were like, we want to look good. We have to not look like sloppy Americans in
Yes.
Italy.
First of all, do that. Appreciate
You
that.
know,
That's an amazing thing. I'm glad you did that.
Italy loves when you respect that they like a nice outfit. If you
Yes.
show up wearing leggings, like they're gonna kick you out.
They don't
They're
like
gonna
you.
find a way
They're
to
not gonna
arrest
give
you.
the service. They're gonna take the pasta away.
So I was very lucky that our Airbnb host just took my checked suitcase and put
Sonny.
it on his shoulder.
He was the
and-
smallest little man.
Tiniest little
But
man.
he-
He was smaller than all three of us.
He lapped us. He could have gone back down and back
He
up
was
again.
running up these
Oh my
steps.
God. With
And
the heaviest bag.
we got to the 4th floor and we thought that was it because it says it's the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
But they're all double floors because the floors are all double ceilings. Heights are insane. So we get to the 4th floor and we're at a door that looks like it's the door to the Airbnb. And he goes, just one more. We were like, fuck, no, Sonny. Anyways, so yeah, we got our steps in Rome.
Yeah.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to dream about the cacio e pepe in Rome
So
for the
tasty.
rest of my life.
Good.
We took a train,
Yep.
which was really nice.
From Rome to Florence.
And then we got to Florence. We checked into a beautiful hotel right on the river
Elevator.
there.
Very nice.
Right beside the Ponte Vecchio.
See.
Sì, grazie. Ciao, bella.
Ciao, belle.
I keep on saying ciao to people this week, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I
You have to
literally,
stop.
you
Yeah.
go to Italy for a week, and
For
all of a sudden,
4 days,
you
yeah.
think you know anything. Like I didn't know any Italian in Italy, but somehow I know it in Canada.
Here we are.
But Tim, paint us a picture for your proposal, because really we're gonna get into some questions, but all I really think anybody cares about right now is like, let's hear the story. Did she know? Was she surprised? How were you feeling? How did you pick a location? I want to know everything.
We knew the day we wanted it to happen. By we, I mean Lindsay and I, because we planned a lot of this.
I thought you were saying we, like Kelly. I was like, Kelly
had no
didn't know
idea.
anything.
Kelly was very surprised. She's still surprised to this day. I don't think she thinks it's real, which is lovely and very sweet.
It's very cute.
Lindsay and I,
After a podcast.
after our podcast in this room, we sat down and Lindsay's like, so, what's the deal with you and Kelly? I'm like, I'm thinking about...
I wish you guys could see the lighting scenario in here because right above
they
us,
can't see it.
we have this like one light that when we look at each other, it looks like an interrogation
It's very
room.
much but good cop, bad cop. So she good copped and bad copped me and said, what's going on with you and Kelly? You going to marry this girl? I said, yeah, I think I might propose in Rome or Italy. And she's like, excuse me? And that was like maybe a month and a half, 2 months before we went.
Like I would say every 6 months, as any good friend does, because I am very close with both you and Kelly. I like to do my due diligence and I like to say, would you like to marry this person? Yes or no? I just personally need to
it's
meddle.
lovely.
There's a certain level of meddling that I think I'm due in this friendship.
Yeah.
And also, you always have told me, yes, of course I want to marry her. I just don't know when the timing's right. So I'm just trying to make sure you understand,
The
like,
ticking of the clock.
there's a clock going here.
Yeah.
And you're not getting better looking with time. I'm just kidding. You actually
True.
are.
This
You actually
is-
are getting better
no,
looking
no,
with
no,
time.
no, this is not looking so good.
But as any friend should, you do a little bit of a pushing and a prodding. And
Absolutely.
every time I push and prod, Tim's like, I'm going to do it in my own time. And then I leave it. And then 6 months later, I get the greatest shock of my life when Timothy Musa tells me, I was planning on proposing in Italy, which I was like, do you know we have to order a ring? Like, you can't just go to Raffi Jeweler and pick something out. Like,
I was never going to go to Costco or Raffi or even Frank's.
Like, so I would go literally the next day,
it was always going to be Curtis Jeweler.
Yeah. The next day, Tim sends me a text and says, do you want to go do a thing? And we were like incognito. We were like ninjas.
We had secret code word for this ring.
What was it?
X106. So we knew that when we were in Florence, when we wanted to set this up and make it happen, the code word was let's go shoot the X106 video, which Lindsay has. Which is a great camera.
Whenever we were trying to do like any sort of operative for sizing, the ring, like we had to talk about like going to the jewelry store. I'd be like, oh, did we want to go do the X106 video today? Because like Kelly would just be like, whatever, I don't know
if she were to see my text. Not that she's the kind of girl who would like dig through my phone,
no, but see it pop up on your watch or in your in-car display or something.
If CarPlay is playing and I see a text from Lindsay and it reads it, it's like, ugh. So even to the point where I did not put Curtis Jewelers in my phone,
like to do Google
on the
Maps.
Google, just because it would show up in recents.
Yeah.
I would also, because Kelly has me on Find My, I would leave my phone and my watch here at the studio, and then Lindsay would drive us so that she couldn't track me. And if for whatever reason she wanted to see where I was that day, she could see it. I wanted this to be completely a surprise.
She said that she sometimes does it because she wanted.
She has no idea.
Yeah, she said sometimes she looks at Find My to see like where Jose is and what Jose is doing during the day, right?
She has
like,
Jose on a separate one. But if we're separate, it'd be like.
But if you look at the Find My app, it just shows you everybody. So if she looks and all of a sudden she's like, "What's Tim doing over here?"
Away? Yeah,
and then she'd be like, understood. Anyways, it ended up going beautifully. We had like the most stunning night.
Yep.
We went for a little tour through some of the side streets, and I got to get rid of the most stressful part of my trip, which was carrying around a 2-carat rock in my bag.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, by the way. Thank you for carrying the most important purchase.
I was carrying the weight and...
Oh my God.
No, it was honestly, it was an honor.
I really appreciate that.
And I just shoved it into Tim's bag while he was standing right beside Kelly. Pocket. He and Kelly are standing like this, taking a photo this way. And I just was like, shoop, right into his pocket.
So we saw the alley we wanted.
Yeah.
And we're like, this seems like a good one. And so I'd also tasked Taylor with taking Super 8 video.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see that.
Hope it turns out. Gosh, I hope it turns out.
It's going to be great.
Lindsay was taking photos, and the idea was we were going to go to a rooftop patio that you had to book weeks in advance to like be at.
Yeah.
And so we got dressed up because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to get people to...
and it was like a sunset rooftop situation.
Exactly.
Kelly had initially planned a different outfit. And I was like, oh, I really love that Free People dress that you just bought.
Yeah.
So like even when people look at this photo, they'd be like, she must have known.
Yeah,
and
everyone thought she knew.
No, it's just, first of all, girl has gorgeous taste. She looks phenomenal all the time. But she thought we were going... Yeah, she thought we were going to like a beautiful rooftop thing. And I did push her in the direction of like, oh yeah, wear that one tonight instead of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it
was perfect.
It was fantastic, if I do say so. I cried. Did you cry?
I cried a little bit. Not really.
Well, I feel like it's different emotions, though. Yeah, like you're like so hyped up. But I was like, I was crying behind the camera, like crying, like not cute crying, like crying.
Thanks, bud.
I was just shocked. I'm like, this happened. This is just crazy. I've been at so many proposals, but for people that I don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this must be exciting for you.
Well, I cried at your wedding. Both of those. That was sweet.
Both of my weddings. Yeah, well, I'm really excited. So actually, you guys, if you're hearing this, you'll already have hopefully seen the post on Instagram.
You should have by this point.
I'm going to post one of the proposal photos because I'm so excited about them. But also, I'm going to post asking for people's opinions and advice on wedding planning because this is the next step. And it's hard because, as you guys all know, when you're in the industry, it's really hard to know what you want to do that doesn't just feel like another day at the office, right? So there's like, the world is your oyster. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, it's like, oh, like the world is my oyster and that is a lot of options. So I want to hear what all of the professionals in the room.
We would love to know
what you should do.
Yeah, I'd love to know all your options, all your ideas and opinions, and I'll make some good choices from that. But Keep in mind, I already have my ideas.
But keep in mind, I'm going to not do any
I'm not going to do any of it. No, I want to hear. I love to hear your ideas and thoughts because I'm in it all the time. So,
and it's nice to hear ideas from people that are outside of our area,
Exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
different trends, different ideas for
Totally.
like, oh, like a fun, I don't know, guest book idea. Like it could be big, it can be small. They
Yeah.
can give us all of the ideas. So let's
all of
hear them.
that is the reason why we did not have an episode last week.
We were
Big life
busy.
moments. Yeah.
We were just busy and now we're here.
We're here.
We missed you.
We're back. We missed you so much.
At least one of you missed us, and that's really nice.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. Sorry we ghosted you.
Yeah.
The social media manager, me, hasn't been really on top of it. But another day, another dollar.
It's life.
Let's listen to our friend Ben from Focal.
He's got a question for question number 1 for this episode.
Hey everyone, I'm Ben from Focal. My question is, why are photographers so afraid to make money?
Great question.
Wow.
Ben.
Right to the jugular with that one.
I feel like that's a very Focal thing. If you don't know, Focal is a website building company and platform. They utilize things like AI. They utilize things like incredible SEO and sales tactics to build photographers' websites that get them bookings. So
That's
Honk,
a
honk,
fact.
honk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fact. They build beautiful websites that are specifically tailored to help photographers actually get booked and not just like, here's a nice portfolio. It's like, if you're a customer, what's the kind of website that you would want to land on? And you wouldn't believe, like I would say for sure a monthly basis. I just got an email this week from somebody saying, hey, I'm reaching out. Your work is beautiful, but I also just wanted to mention how incredibly useful and helpful your website was. Like, thanks for making it transparent, putting your pricing all out there.
so easy.
Very, very simple.
Yeah.
So this is not just a Focal ad. Well, it's not a Focal ad. It's
not.
become one in this moment just because we're fangirls. But Ben is a good friend of ours, a good friend of the podcast, a good friend of mine and Tim's. And Ben is one of the sales guys at Focal.
If you book a sales call, you'll likely get Ben.
And it's fantastic because he is obviously selling websites, but then he's also really great at teaching photographers sales strategies. And he's
Yeah.
helped me with things. He and I have chatted about some different ideas and strategies that he has seen that works. And one of the common things that we have found through like my relationship with Focal is that photographers are genuinely afraid of like asking for the sale, of
Yeah.
like actually going for the sale. Like there's this starving artist mentality, which is super weird because like you have a professional website,
Mm-hmm.
you're posting on social media regularly, and then someone sends you an email and says, hi, I'd like to book with you.
Yeah.
And then they're like, here's a 6-page questionnaire I'd like you to fill out before I can decide if we're a good fit. In what other industry?
None.
Like truly, in what other industry do you see people being like, I need to interview you to make sure that we're a good fit? There's just so many barriers, right? Photographers put all of these walls up before the payment part.
Yeah. I think you nailed it with your talk at Canada Photo Summit where you talked about the analogy of someone goes into a pants store and they go in and they want to buy pants. And you say, oh, welcome to the pants store. I'm the owner of the pants store, i.e. the photographer. These are the pants we have. Do you want to learn a bit more about pants or do you know the pants you want? They're like, I know the pants I want. I'm a 34, 32 blue and I want a black pair too just in case. I'm like, oh, okay, well, why don't we just look around at these pants? Like, no, the people know what pants they want to buy. They've already decided before they walked in for the most part.
They're
They've done
literally
the
not
research.
wearing pants currently.
They went to the website. They know what this pants is. They're pantsless. Sell them the pants.
And then they walk around, they see all the pants for sale. They're literally standing there in their underwear. And the person is like, is there a cashier anywhere here?
Can I go to
Is there, like,
self-checkout?
Is there
or-
a cash out? And then the owner is like, damn, they didn't say like the magic words.
Yeah.
So I just said, have a nice day. Like, if you're ever interested in the pants store again, I'll be here. But at no point does like the pants store owner say, yeah, so like which ones can I help you purchase?
Yeah.
Here's why I think these ones are the best ones for you. But obviously you do you. If you think that you know better, that sounds great. Like, I'm here to sell a pair of pants.
Yeah.
I'd like you to like them.
And like you to buy them.
And I'd like you to buy them.
Yeah. So I wonder if you mentioned the starving artist mentality. I wonder if that's a societal thing where people think that you have a job that's a job, where you work for a company or a person.
Yeah.
And that's the legitimate thing you do.
Yeah.
And then you have these side hustle things that are
Yeah.
businesses, but like not really businesses. They're more
Yeah.
like a hobby that you could maybe make some money at. Maybe one day, if you're big enough and get published by Sports Illustrated or something, you could have, you know, real income from that job. And there's no in between. And it's like you have these pillars of artistic value where you're like well known in the world, and you have jobs, and there's like a valley of death in between where people don't see it as a legitimate thing,
Yeah.
where they feel like they could ask and just go for the ask of
Yeah.
like, hey, pay me to do a service because I'm good at it.
And I think sometimes we can go even deeper with that analogy, Tim, because I think that there are people that are like, and I was guilty of this. I identified as a wedding photographer. And once
Right.
I built my confidence as a wedding photographer, I was still lacking the confidence, rightfully so, but lacking the confidence as a family photographer, as a newborn photographer.
Yeah.
So I was charging like $5,000 a day for weddings, and I was charging $200 or $300 for a family shoot, or $400 or $500 for a newborn shoot, which at the time felt crazy. And then a friend of ours in town, a local photographer, reached out to me. She's a family photographer, obviously. She was pissed. She was like, how are you charging $5,000 for a wedding and you're charging a few $100s for a family session?
Yeah.
Like, you're good at what you do, and it's making the industry, i.e. her, look too expensive. And she was not wrong, right? Because I lacked the confidence in my ability as a family photographer. So I just decided either I need to stop offering family photos,
Yeah.
because I would never want to be offering a mediocre, a subpar service.
No.
Or
Go in.
I need to go full in on this. And I felt like at that point I had built more than enough of a portfolio doing these like cheap sessions. And like, I know a few $100s is not actually cheap, but we're talking, you know, with very weird relative things when it comes to what is and isn't expensive for
Yeah.
photography. But at the time, it was definitely too inexpensive for what I was doing. And I just was like, listen, I need to remind myself who the heck I am.
Yeah.
And
Literally, yeah.
and say, yes, I actually charge as much for family photography. And I went from like charging about $300, $350 to $675 immediately.
Good.
And no issue, literally no issue. And then the biggest issue I had was just me crying over the thousands and thousands of dollars that I lost over not charging the right amount
Yep.
for years. And, you know, it was definitely an awkward conversation to have with one of your competitors, being like, hi, could you please increase your prices? You're making us hate you and look bad. But
Valuable though.
it feels scary to ask for money for creative acts. It can feel scary to say, hi, this is a thing that I make.
Yeah.
I make it with my hands and my eyes.
And my heart and my soul.
Yes. I make it through, sometimes I go for walks in nice areas with my dog and I find the most beautiful location and I'm like, this is mine and I'm going to make the most beautiful art here now.
Yeah.
Right? It's through so many hours and hours of effort and brain power and heart and our own lived experiences that we're able to create images that our clients love. So on one hand, and I'm sure you've heard this before, of photographers being like, well, it feels cheap to ask for money for it.
No.
No. It would actually feel cheap to not charge for it. It
Yeah.
would feel like you're cheapening what you are and what you have to offer.
Absolutely. And also, like, gear is not free. Like, these things are not cheap. You have to pay for your insurance for these gears. You have to pay for all the expenses that come along with having a business. Like, I think people just don't see it
Thousands and
as
thousands and thousands of dollars
yeah,
that we
you
pay
can
for
summarize
these
it.
businesses.
Just it's people don't see it as a business, and they just start treating it like a business. And whether it's
Yeah.
a side hustle or it's your full time thing, quit fucking around and just treat it like a goddamn business.
Absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes it comes back to actually our first podcast that we had together, Tim. It was
Yes.
called Drink the Coffee,
Do the
work.
Yeah.
And it really just is, sometimes it's just that simple. Sometimes you just don't need to complicate it that much. Get your first sale, get your first big win, whether that be a wedding that you never thought you could book or, and I don't mean literally your first, like you've probably had sales before, but like get that dream booking and see how addictive that
Yeah.
is. And then go and look back at how did I get that? What did I do to make that happen? What was the marketing and stuff that went into that? How did I manufacture that to happen? And then try to do it again. Make it a little game. Shake and bake with yourself.
I
You
used
know?
to think that sales was the most slimy thing in the world.
Yeah,
like,
of
of all
course.
time.
Because when you think of a salesman, what do you think of?
Greaseball people trying to sell you a lemon on a car lot. That's
Yes,
basically what you think of.
literally,
But I
yeah.
think of it.
Matilda's
sales now-
dad.
Exactly. Brilliant.
Matilda's
Brilliant. Watch that movie. No, and then I started selling for myself. I'm like, oh, I get it. Like sales is so important and so necessary to running a business. Lindsay, we didn't roll that thing.
Oh
I
my
just hit me.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
You need to hit it.
Okay. Should Tim and Kelly let me plan their wedding?
You just,
I gotta shake it again. 1 second. Oh, cannot predict now. That's fair. You
it.
probably shouldn't let me play your wedding. Tim, how much time you got? You want to go into our second question,
Let's do it.
less speed round?
Let's do it, let's do it, let's
we
do
have
it.
a second question that I think is a fantastic parlay from this question about sales, and maybe will help the people understand how to make sales feel nice.
love it. First, commercialism though. Lindsay, I've noticed something really interesting about your Instagram posts lately.
Oh, have you, Tim?
I feel like you're trying harder.
Oh my gosh. My secret, and it's not so secret, is social templates. Everyone who is a photographer knows how painful it is to make reels. Remember, you used to be able to just like take photos and then put them on Instagram and people would see them? No longer. Now you must make a reel. Now, in order for people to see said photos, they must be in video form.
Even if you're a photographer, you need to focus on video. And what is one of the ways you do that, Lindsay?
Social templates. So social templates is this incredible platform. You know, when you're on Instagram and you go to somebody's Instagram and you're like, oh, I really love that reel. I'll show you one that I made. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, that's beautiful. It's synced to the beat. It's using a trending audio. I wish that I could make something like that. Well, now you can. So when you are a subscriber of Social Templates, you will get access to this private Social Templates account. You will then have access to brand new trending reels every single week. They put new ones out. You'll see how many. This one says 11 segments. So that can be photo, video, if you have BTS, if you have actual stills that you've already edited and delivered. It's really so simple. You'll hit this use template button and then you just plunk them in.
Whoa.
And they are already time synced.
Amazing.
So they're beat matched, they're time synced, and because the audio is trending and because it's current, it's going to put it into people's feeds, which is the goal. So it
Amazing.
looks like I'm trying hard, but actually I'm trying not at all. Socialtemplates.co is where you're going to go to sign up. It's $29 a month, which is basically nothing when you compare it to the cost of having like a marketing assistant or even just your own time spent in CapCut or whatever many apps. You use my code Lindsay, LINDSAY, and you will get the first month free. And I strongly recommend it. You're going to try it for the first month and you're going to be like, I'm in. So give it a shot. Socialtemplates.co. The promo code Lindsay.
Promo code Lindsay, socialtemplates.co. Back to the show. We're back. Buy that product, buy that service. Support the show. You're helping us both.
We truly would love it so much.
Question number 2. Hit it.
I'm here for a question. What are some ways that I could better my business with marketing?
Good question.
I'm kind of shy doing, Instagram stories, so this is a huge step, just doing this, putting myself out there. Is there any tricks or advice that you could give me? All right, bye.
Carolina, great question.
Oh my gosh.
How do you better
You
yourself at
shouldn't be
marketing?
afraid of being on stories. You are so beautiful. I loved that so much. You're an eloquent speaker. Thanks for shooting your shot.
Yeah. Thanks for being at
So
the.
nice.
So that is from, both of those questions are from the Canada Photo Summit confessional booth we had in studio
So
at Theater 2.
It was
from
so
April.
good. I loved
It
it
was
so much. Thank you for setting it up, Tim. Carolina?
Carolina, I think.
Carolina?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this question. The first thing that I want to say is confidence is a muscle
Yes.
that like a newborn baby is very underdeveloped
Okay.
for most people.
I'm listening.
And she just continues to grow the more you flex it.
It's true.
So getting on your Instagram stories, you nailed it. It's so funny. Like, you're like, what are some good ways to market myself? I'm afraid of Instagram stories, or I'm like, lacking the confidence for Instagram stories. good ways to market are exactly the thing that you're terrified of doing. And
Yes.
it's funny how the thing that we like, I don't even feel like I need to tell you because you obviously know. Generally, the thing that we're the most afraid of doing in our businesses are the ones that we need to do the most.
Yeah, it's what's that line that like everything you want is on the other side of the things you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So everything in this world that you are interested in having is on the other side of a task or a process or an idea of a thing that scares you a little bit. And that's the shittiest answer because it's the truest answer and it's not probably what you want to hear. There are no shortcuts, sadly, so far that I've seen. Is this working? There we go.
It is.
You
Just
not
far.
hearing me?
There you go.
There we
It
go. Is
sounds
that better?
nicer.
Right there in the mic. There are no shortcuts. You have to be uncomfortable and do the things that are uncomfortable to get to a level where you feel financially comfortable, if that makes sense, if that's not poetic enough. I really do think that to getting started, if you have a fear of like maybe putting your face on the Instagram reel, do you like, oh, I got like coffee burps coming up. It's so gross.
It's really gross.
Sorry, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
One tactic that I sometimes do if I don't feel confident putting my face on Instagram would be to do just like what I see. So I'll hold the camera up from the phone of like, hey, this is like me. This is
And
what
you
I'm
can
looking
still
at.
combo it with your voice in it,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like that's really, really great. Like add your voice in there.
Yeah.
But I really truly would suggest that you just so what I do, and I also think that Tim has a unique way of in being a man,
Okay.
it's easier for men to be on camera because there are, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, like even just getting ready for a podcast,
Sure.
right? Like it takes me an hour to, I don't even look good. And it still takes
No, you
me
look
an
great.
hour to make sure that I've picked out an outfit that I feel good being photographed or videoed
Yeah.
in, and making sure that like, you know, I did hot yoga this morning, so I had to like do something about my hair, and I had to like get my skin feeling good, and like that's a full-time job. And when
Yeah.
you're a photographer, obviously you show up to your shoots wanting to look good,
Yeah.
but you probably aren't like getting camera ready for your shoots. But now, because I do so much behind the scenes, I am literally showing up to my shoots camera ready for most of them now,
Interesting.
which is so annoying for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I show up with more hair and makeup done than my clients do, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing.
Give you the camera.
But it's the thing that allows me to feel confident showing my face on social media. So whatever that may be for you, and I hate to give that to the patriarchy. I truly do.
Truly.
But if it is the thing that makes you feel good, putting on a cute top
Yeah.
and maybe some lip gloss and maybe some extra mascara that
Do you
day.
schedule these days out? Like, if you have like a marketing day?
Literally,
specifically?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me
So
about that.
I will literally look at my schedule if I know that I have like a launch coming up
Right.
or whatever, and I will schedule the day that I'm gonna make sure that I don't have too much going on, that I'm gonna feel looking haggard
Right.
or whatever. I'll probably do an earlier morning yoga class instead of like the 9 a.m. because if I do a 9, I usually just come straight to the studio after showering.
Right.
And like, I also try to not wear makeup very often. So anyways, we are giving it to the patriarchy this time, unfortunately. And if there are people listening to this and you have other ideas, I would love to hear them. I mean, a heavy filter is also like a friend. Absolutely. If you feel like that's a necessity. I'm going deep into Instagram stories here specifically. There are certainly other marketing tools, but just since you mentioned your like aversion to stories, that's what I'm going to touch on right now.
Yeah.
The power of showing your clients yourself in stories
Yes.
is so massive. You've already shown them your work in reels, hopefully, and in your posts, and hopefully a fantastic website with a portfolio. They've seen all of that. The thing that they haven't seen is the person that made that work,
Yeah.
right? Like they want to know what you do on a daily basis. And then it makes it easier for them when they do eventually book you to feel like they know you a little bit. Like when I show up to my sessions with my clients, a lot of them
Know so much about you already.
Yeah,
they ask
they're
about
like,
Richard. They want to know how yoga is.
how was your trip to Italy?
Exactly.
Like they have something that they don't just feel like they are on
Meeting a
display at the
stranger.
zoo.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Right. So I think it's really important for them for us to show a little bit of our personal sides,
Yeah.
obviously with whatever boundaries in place you want to put in there. But showing show the work, like show your behind the scenes, show what a shoot looks like with you, show what your regular day looks like. It's going to unlock so much for you. And then, honestly, I think the other biggest marketing tool that's so heavily overlooked right now, guess what it is?
TikTok.
Blogging.
Sorry.
Blogging. No.
Tell me about blogging.
And it's actually a good idea, Tim, because I mean, Reels and TikToks, that's what everybody thinks about right now, right?
Yeah.
But it is come and gone instantly.
True.
Instantly.
Yeah.
It doesn't live on your platform. If Mark Zuckerberg goes to jail along with everybody in his crew, which is honestly very possible, I feel.
Yeah.
TikTok is already at risk of getting shut down.
Yep.
So if you had put all your eggs into TikTok and then TikTok gets shut down and banned, what does that do for your business?
Not good.
When you build your home on the land that you own, which is blogging and a website, when you build your home on the land that you own, you are always in control of what happens with it. You're always in control of the narrative that you put out there, the type of content that you want to put out there. Like, you can get so creative with blogs. You can make little GIFs. You can make videos. You can write stories. I honestly want to bring back like the zine.
Ooh.
Like, I want to make, actually, you know what? I already have it in my mind.
Okay,
I'm going to make an Italy post.
Oh, sweet.
On my website, because so much of my personal life and my business are the same.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do your proposal photos.
Thanks.
Are some of our travel photos. I did a family session with Angela Shea from Social Templates and her family, and put that all in, because I want my clients to see like what I'm up to, but also here's the type of work I'm producing. Yeah. Even if it's just for my friends, or even if it's just for myself.
So closely alongside like your personal life, which is so important.
Yeah. And the blogs are just really excellent marketing tools because of SEO.
But if you're looking for a place to start, a good place to start in terms of like, what do I say to a camera, or what do I say on a blog? Start with your About Me page on your website. Most people have one of those. I'm sure you do, Carolina. I'm not sure. I've looked at your Instagram briefly. It looks fantastic. But you probably have a website, I assume. Go to that About Me page, and then maybe just record yourself saying those things. Maybe 1 or 2 sentences, and then have that as a reel. You know, like kind of a get to know me thing. And you can build from there. You can do a whole blog post if you want to about who you are as a person, the meals you like to eat, the places you like to visit, the kind of photos you like to take, just personal things to get, some familiarity. Because like Lindsay said, like, people are not buying so much what you do, they are, but also they're buying who you are as a person, because you're spending so much of a wedding day with them. You're an honorary part of the wedding party.
And family sessions, like, you're so intimately involved in holding a newborn baby, or taking care of toddlers. Like, families, every client that hires you for any type of session, they are
welcome you into their home and their people.
They put so much trust in us, and you want to show them that you're a trustworthy person, which like we know that you are, but they don't know that yet. And the only way they're going to know that is if you show them your beautiful face.
We did it.
That's honestly fantastic. Are we just too good at our jobs? I feel like we are. I feel like, I listen to other podcasts and I just think, literally, why?
Shut these
the
off.
Shoot Your Shot podcast is here. No, again, sorry for the incredible ego moment there, everybody.
No, it's perfect.
We appreciate you all so much for listening.
Thank you for watching.
Such a pleasure for Tim and I to record these. We have so much fun doing this. We would love to continue doing this. And the only way that that's going to continue is, one, if you please submit your questions, your DMs, your thoughts, your struggles. We're getting into busy season right now. So we are primed for some gossip, for some trials and tribulations, for some stressors. And listen, Doctors Musa and Coulter are here for your therapy session. Unlicensed.
Very not
but
licensed.
We would love to hear your problems. They'll make us feel better about our own. If you want to do that,
march your little thumbs on over to Shoot Your Shot, the Shoot Your Shot podcast on Instagram, and send us a DM, whether it's a text note, a voice note, or if you feel brave, point that camera at yourself and hit a little record, and then record yourself talking like these fine folks did today, and they did a fantastic job. If you want to be anonymous, just do a text thing. That's cool too. And let us know if you want us to use your Instagram handle and make you quasi-famous on the Shoot Your Shot podcast universe.
Absolutement.
Lindsay, great job this week. Excellent work. I feel like I'm suffering from a head cold. You are also sniffling
Both of
a
us
bit,
have the sniffles, so I'm sorry if everybody's getting the treat of that. That's the one joy of us not doing any editing. We just hit record and we roll, baby.
So enjoy that.
I'm sorry about your ears. But thank you all so much. We will be here again next week. See you on Monday.
Ciao bella.